Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to all. Yes, so we are from the slot Tissues.
Colin VIP.
Yes, and accompanying you, DJ Nazmi,
DJ Ain.
and this is the last slot
For the semester.
for this semester for Tissues Colin VIP.
Yes, time really flies.
Yes, time really flies indeed, Ain. So, to make it quick, we are going to talk something related to something really dear to, I think, especially to students, university students who are reaching the end of their study life.
Study life,
Yeah.
study years.
Students' life. Yeah. So, the topic for today, Ain, is
Essentials of industrial training.
yes.
Sounds complicated, but it's okay. We're going to discuss more on that later. Okay, today we have a very special guest from the Office of Industrial Links. Introducing Dr. Norbaiduri.
Hello, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
How are you, both of you?
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Ain's good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
surviving, yes.
So this is the last session.
Yes,
Yeah.
last
For
session.
this semester, I'm very honored to be the last. Yes, for this semester.
Yeah, so Dr. Norbaiduri, I believe you are the director of the office
Yes, I am. For the last 2 years.
2
for the
years.
last 2 years.
When we talk about Office of Industrial Links, I'm not sure if our students know about this office particularly, because I think we don't really get that much exposure on what does the office do for our students, but we will talk about that
Yeah.
later.
In a few moments.
Yes.
Right now, I think we should take a little break. When we return, we will talk more about the Office of Industrial Links. As we are going to ask Dr. Norbaiduri one of our questions of the day, maybe the definition of industrial links.
Yep.
Industrial training, sorry. Yeah, so right now, let's take a short break. Stay tuned on IAM-FM,
Your campus radio. Okay, welcome back. You're listening to IIM FM, your campus radio.
Yes.
It's Slot Tissues, Colin VIP.
Yep.
And the topic for today is Essentials of Industrial Training.
Yes, indeed, Ain. Thank you for introducing the topic and reintroducing ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah, so we have been covering a lot of topics this semester. Quite some heavy topics as well, actually.
Yes.
And we have heard from various, let's just say, experts on the field. So it's the same case for tonight. Sorry. We still have a guest who is a well-versed person in the topic of industrial training, and she is the director of Office of Industrial Link of IIUM,
Dr. Norbaiduri. We have introduced her before the break,
Yeah.
so I think we can straight away dive into the question.
Yes, I hope you are ready, Doctor. Okay, so let's just go lighter. What can you tell us more about the jobs of the Office of Industrial Links?
Yes.
Well, basically, Office of Industrial Links is one of the centralized agencies of this university. And our basic, I would say, job description is to establish linkage between academia and industry. So we are the bridging element that somehow help to connect industry and academia. So it is really something, it's just like a one-stop center. When industry wants to find, let's say, an expert in certain area, they can somehow contact our office, and we will be able to somehow advise them properly so that they will be able to somehow address some of the issues that they have in mind. So that is one thing, to connect industry and academia. And within the university, one of the KPIs which is assigned to our office is to report the number of students who underwent internship for a year in that particular academic year. So basically, we have semester 1, 2, and 3, and depending on the kind of kuliah, some kuliah just send during semester 3, because it's the longest break. But somehow we have students who go for internship during semester 1 and 2 as well. So we report this number to the ministry, because this is something that each university have to submit to the ministry in terms of the populations who actually went for internship. Okay? And normally when we talk about internship, basically it is somehow more exclusive towards the undergraduate students.
I see.
Because it's much more compulsory at undergraduate level. So basically this is one area, but we are also assessing the kind of linkages that industry have established with IUM.
Okay.
There are many types of linkages. There are 9 levels of assessment. The lowest being internship.
Okay.
The lowest level of engagement is internship. The highest level, I'm talking just lowest and highest, The highest being industry sponsors industrial chair. Meaning that they give us fund and they sponsor industrial chair. So we have a number of possible chairs. For example, it can be a halal chair, or it can be an Islamic banking chair, depending on the field. It feels that the industry feel that they want to pursue more in terms of research and development together with the university. So these are some of the areas or job specs that oils have.
Wow. Okay.
So that's something given to us both.
Yes.
Because we have heard that
the
the
office.
but we never really known what this does anyway.
Yes.
So wow, this is good.
Okay.
So Doctor, can you for you, what is industrial training and how important is it, especially to students?
Well, I would say the ministry actually encourage all fields, academic fields, offer internship curriculum for their students. Meaning that if we see that, for example, in our kuliah of Islamic Revealed Knowledge and Human Sciences, not all of the departments
make
internship compulsory. But the government and the Ministry of Education feels that it is important that every single student have an equal opportunity to get exposure to the industrial practice. All right, while they are still students, at university. So basically, industrial training is an experience whereby a student, university student, is being supervised by industrial supervisor, within a stipulated time frame. Okay, and when we talk about internship, the length of internship varies from kuliah to kuliah and from departments to departments. Okay, so it can be as short as 4 weeks to 3 months or a whole semester. Okay.
So that's industrial training for you. For this segment alone, we have covered what is industrial training, as well as the job scope
of the office itself.
Office of Industrial Linkage.
It's really important for students to be aware of this.
Well, a number of students, because we report internship for the entire university, and our KPI, key performance indicator, is to somehow achieve 95% of the students who registered for industrial training courses or whatever. The names actually vary from kuliah to kuliah. For law, they call it attachment. For example, the sciences, they call it clinical attachment. So the nomenclature may be different, but it's the same thing as industrial training. The nomenclature is industrial training. So basically, we sometimes, if they do not have, because we have database, company database. If let's say the departments or the kuliah, right, may not be able to place them in any company within the time period expected, they may get the assistance from our office. Only when they have exhausted all the possibilities of getting themselves placement. Okay, so we do help because we are in daily contacts with companies, and companies do come to us to advertise. So we have, so we have very strong links with the company.
Right.
So does the office often liaise with each kuliah or each department?
Of course, because in terms of reporting, we need to liaise with them, and we work very, very closely with the internship coordinators. All kuliahs have their own internship coordinators. These are the people who manage students' placement, all the documents related, and also to manage the reports after that, and also to manage the reports and submission of report to my office to be submitted to the ministry. Okay, so but then because now everything is very much analog, you understand? Analog means that we are using documents and also Excel, spreadsheet and so on. Now we have developed a new system called iIntern, which we are going to launch soon. Everything would be digital, and everything will be not analog anymore. It's just like the job street environment, okay, whereby students can apply internship using the system, right? And the company would be available in the system, and then when you apply, they can find, just like they can match those that they think fulfill the requirements that they have set out. So basically, we came out with this system after we had some feedbacks from the previous system, and they said that they want it to be more interactive, where everything is done online. Yeah,
it's very accessible.
Yeah.
Right, now that's an interesting insight for us as well, because we might be actually
I'm planning to do internship, so that's very insightful.
Right, so we have covered industrial training in general, the job scope of the office, and now we've got the new insight about the new system. Good. Alright, so we are taking another short break, Ain. Return, we will talk more about the industry and also the organizations that are usually involved with this kind of industrial training. So stay tuned to us, DJs, calling the IP on
IIM, your campus radio.
Enjoy.
Hello, welcome back. It's me, DJ Ain.
And me, DJ Nazmi.
If you just started to listen to us, the topic for today is essentials of industrial training. So before the break, we have discussed with our guests, given exposure to what industrial training is all about, and also what Office of Industrial Links do to ease the journey of students for their employability chances in the real world, quoted by Nazmi.
And together with us for tonight in the contest is Dr. Norbaiduri Ruslan.
Yes.
She is the director of IIM's Office of Industrial Links, or OIL, I believe is being called.
Oh really? Okay.
Is what we've been exposed to. So she has been sharing the job scopes of her office, as well as her definition of industrial training, and she also mentioned about the new iIntern system.
Yes, which will be launched soon.
Wow. So right now we are going to dive into the industry itself. The questions will now move along that line. So, Doctor, when you mention industrial training, what industry you are referring to? Because there are many industries in the world, in the real world.
Yes, as you know that in our university itself, we have so many kuliahs.
There's a lot.
That reflect the many different industries that we need in order to cater our graduates. Okay. From the system that we submitted our reports, there are basically many types of industries. Okay, I would like to name them, some of them here.
Yes.
For example, we have agriculture, forestry, fisheries, manufacturing, mining, quarry. We are not in this area, right? Okay. gas supply, steam and air condition, transportation, logistics, construction, finance and insurance, properties, education, arts, entertainment and recreation. These are not an exhaustive list, but somehow these are some that I can share here with you. Okay, and of course they are also not related or not relevant or something that there are so many, but they can be embedded in any of these what you call industries. Yeah.
There are also some that are interconnected to each other, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I believe language studies has interconnection with education, the research area as well.
So like based on your experience and data collection, we would like to know what are the most which fields that have most demands.
Most demands. I would say that it depends actually. I would say that College of Economics, KICT, ICO, these are some of the established. I would say ICO and also KNMS. But our concern is the social sciences students. The graduate employability of the social sciences students is lower compared to other area. So this is a concern. Okay, but I would say that you should not feel somewhat dwarfed by this statement, because I hope that when you got the chance to do your industrial training or internship, you're able to excel yourself there and make yourself stand out compared to interns from other universities. Okay, one of the remarks I got recently from the Director General of Ministry of Higher Learning institution, she said that the feedback that she got from companies about graduates, they said that one of the main problems of graduates is their English proficiency. Okay, but the company said that, but that's not an issue for IUM graduates. So which is very good. That is a value added advantage of our graduates. So I think using that, because we write and we speak in English, so that has been the practice at least for 4 years, right? If not to include the matriculation years that you've been there if you are Malaysian. Okay, so that would be something that is unique about IUM, regardless of, I would say, regardless of your disciplines. It is you who sells yourself at the end of it, isn't it? When you are attending interviews. And I would also say that before you attend interview, you should have a very good resume. Like for example, they call it video resume right nowadays, so that you can somehow show your talents in speaking, and how you impress them with your physical attributes and so on. That would easily be accessible by them. So they can easily assess you looking at how you present yourself in the video and so on, rather than to look at pages and pages of your resume, isn't it? So I would say, in my opinion, it's not an issue about which department you graduate from. And I think you might have heard that people may not necessarily join the area in which they were trained in, isn't it?
That's right.
So it's really up to you how you are able to excel yourself and to make a positive impression during the interviews, or in the writing of your resume, or in the preparation of your video resume.
So rather than doing a hard copy resume, just stating that our language skill is fluent, we rather just show it.
Yes, I think this is what the ministry wants as well. Ministry encourages university graduates to prepare video resume.
Like an e-portfolio,
something like that. So that would be very handy. Imagine having to read. For example, Petronas. So many people want to work in Petronas. Okay, every time they call for interviews, or they call for opening a vacancy, they will get like 11,000 applications. Imagine, and having to sift through all those pages, and then all the different formats and so on. So of course they want something which is much more easy to assess, and very light for them to digest, isn't it? Okay. Understandable, isn't it?
That's very good.
We're talking about people who are not your age. So they get easily fatigued. Talking about myself, age is catching up.
But it is true though. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's true.
in video form, it's much more entertaining and
Yeah, you just watch and get the information from what you see.
And you can highlight
yeah.
the thing that you are very good at, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a very creative way to make it different rather than doing the normal resume.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't know, but since we are talking about industrial training and also employment and the post-graduation kind of stuff, I feel compelled to ask your opinion about, I believe it was Tun Daim who mentioned about
literature.
is it Malays?
Yes, Malay.
Yeah, Malays only do literature, or so I said, social sciences, because they are easy and they should go to the science field.
Science and engineering.
Yeah, so does that have something in relation to the industry?
Well, I think government wants to strengthen STEM, science, technology, and mathematics and so on, and because to somehow increase the number of especially Bumi Putra to be in the STEM area. But somehow, I do know that some students, even though they are in the science area, but when they want to join university, they want to change to social sciences.
Yeah,
There will be such a loss of talents. Okay, so we need to have more students, especially Malay students or Bumi Putra students in this area, because if we look ahead, not very very far ahead, we are living in a technologically charged environment, and we are expected to be able to accommodate changes as fast as they are being introduced in our world. Okay, so we're not saying that social sciences students are not adaptable to changes, technological advancement, but we're just saying that you may not be able to contribute significantly to the development of the nation and so on. Not very significant. We're talking about engineering, we're talking about architecture, we're talking about sciences and so on. Coming out with new products, testing new medicine, for example, and so on. Breakthrough scientific, discovery. So social sciences may not be able to do that because we deal a lot with, writing part, argumentation. We may be good. I'm not saying that people like us are disposable.
Wow. I hope not.
So it's complementary, but complementary. Thereby, that's why in the future, they're saying that I went to recently to Microsoft. They talk about in the future it's not going to be like public relations. The name of the career will be public relations. For example, it could be public relations scientists, for example. You get that? Or zoologists, but at the same time artists. Something like that. So it's a combination of like science, multitasking. And then to encourage students not just to specialize in one area, but also, for example, to also take music, medicine, and some other things.
Very well.
So you become more rounded, more holistic, integrated rounded, rather than to be like just in science, in the lab, but fail at communicating with other people, fail at transferring the knowledge to the community, which needs that kind of knowledge and so on. Okay,
so it's not. We want to break that specialization. So just
specialization is good, but in the future you need to be not specialized, but having to have that holistic,
flexible.
Yes. So that you have to be adaptable, you are able to fit yourself in different situations and in different needs. Right. When we talk about the university, it is an experiment. I would say it's quite clinical, artificial. Okay? Because the minute you exit this university is a host of challenging episodes that you will be undergoing. Okay? And of course, if you are not able to adapt, then you will be frustrated and you feel that you don't have anything to offer out there. Okay, so that's why back again into industrial training, it will give you the glimpse of what's going on in the industry. Alright, in terms of the expectations of industry, you'll be meeting supervisor who is not your academic supervisor, but industrial supervisor who would be more harsh. For example, you thought your statistics teacher is harsh, but in the industry they are even more, because they are facing realistic and practical solutions that need to be addressed. It's not something hypothetical anymore. So if you are able to get at least 4 weeks or 8 weeks of that kind of exposure, it will somehow give you another insights, right? It will somehow opens up your views about what is really, how can I contribute to the field, to this company, all right? And of course, if they do not give you anything significant or substantive for you to do, you must ask them for that. Some people may complain, I went for my internship, but they asked me to do all the clerical stuff, photocopying, making coffee, and so on. But actually, you must make sure that yourself stand out, all right? And ask for the kind of thing that you can help them with, all right?
It does not matter if it does not fit the job. As long as you are
because I would say you gain the soft skills, not so much of the content, but the soft skills during that period. And for example, management, managing others, teamwork, leadership, negotiation. These are all the things that you might get during internship or industrial training. Okay?
Yeah, I think soft skills are what's important to keep us survive in the real world, I think, rather than just focus on our grades, which people seem to be focusing on.
To be inclined.
Grades are the tickets for you to be noticed.
Okay,
that's a nice way to put it.
Nice way to put it, or brutal way to put it, right? So this is when you have 11,000 applications. Of course, you will not look at those people with E or C plus, isn't it? You'll be looking at those cohort with A's or A plus, A minus, or B plus. All right. So so even so, after that, they will go to the second stage, looking at your participation, how participative and active you are during your studies. For example, whether you're holding any exco positions or executive positions in any society or not, or just ordinary members, isn't it? So that's why it's not just about your academic excellence. You have to have an all-rounded experience when you were in the university. I still remember going down the memory lane. When I was a student, I was very active, and then we have to work in teams and how to manage this, with the limited resources that we have, but we want to have a program that make an impact to the society or to the university. So this is where we first tested our skills, soft skills, right? So I think industrial training would be a very, very good opportunity for all of university students to get an early exposure and to get a glimpse of the reality that is unfolding out there.
Right.
Okay.
My God, that's like a new light coming our way.
Not revelation,
Revelation.
Alright, so I guess I suggest that we take a short break. When we return, we will talk about the benefits and
that the student can get through industrial training
and the activities that an industrial training would have. So stay tuned to the stations VIB on IIUN FM,
your campus radio. Okay, we are back again.
Yes. So we are back, I guess. Not for the last time yet.
So, I think so far it's been like a really insightful session. Everything is new right now.
Everything is new. We never really talk about industrial training. All we know is internship and internship alone.
Also, we just Dr. Norbaiduri mentioned about how we should gain experiences in our university years through co-curricular activities. But unfortunately, I think even though our university provides so many platforms for us to gain experiences, the students don't have that initiative to join, and that's what made them like kind of feel when they enter the working world, because they don't have the experiences, even though the platforms have been given.
Right. So right now we are going to touch on the benefits aspect of this discussion. So the question will be, what benefits are there for students who attend or experience industrial training? Does it help university graduates to have an industrial training?
Of course, I would say I would somehow promote that every single soul in the university should have the opportunity to have industrial training. Okay, because the benefits are many, so many to list, but I can say a few here. For example, it is the time for them to be able to get into a reality setting. Before this, it was only theoretical, philosophical. Some of the feedback that I've got from the industry, everything that the professors or the teachers teach in the university is rather theoretical and philosophical. So, but those philosophy and theory should be the guidance, right? Should be the parameters or the framework for us to understand reality out there, right? So that you can get, you can somehow sharpen your problem-solving skills, negotiation skills, and then you understand the day-to-day running of a company, for example, and what are some of the challenges facing them. Issues about human management, for example, human capital management. What are some of the issues about staffing and so on, teamwork, exposure to so many things, for example, crisis. Let's say crisis management, how to deal with crisis management. We may have studied in some of courses here on the crisis management, but in the real world, because the one that we study is just based on published case studies, but that one is something which is real. A wrong turn, maybe a bad consequences for the company. All right, so that will somehow challenge you to better understand what is going on in the industry. So some of the benefits. Okay, and it will somehow make you more mature. And I would say the time when you do your industrial training is the time for you to develop your networking. All right, develop your networking. This would be very, very handy for you in the future. All right, if you establish a sustainable relationship or networking with key people, it will go a long way. All right, it will not just something that will benefit you, in an immediate future, but in the long run. So, always find ways to build networking. Don't feel that I am young, I should not be developing networking with people who are older than me. No, age should not be the reason to stop you from pursuing, a more, I would say, major steps into the future in building your career. Okay.
So, come to think of it, it's more like a hands-on, like direct hands-on experience, right?
Direct hands-on experience. Okay. And I would say that some people, when they choose, if they have the choice to choose the internship placement, they would choose a place behind their house. Near their kampung,
Yeah,
because it's convenient in terms of cost, very near to their parents and so on. Transportation very convenient. So those are all petty issues. It may not, and you may not get an enriched, rich experience during your industrial training. Why don't you challenge yourself? Go for a international, multinational company, renowned company, public listed company, first board, main board, okay, so that you are able to get a more, I would say, substantive experience in that company, right? Rather than to go a company which has only 5 staff,
like a startup,
compared to work with a company which have like 1,000 or 100 employees. Yeah, of course. The reality would be different.
So I think it's very important for our students to know that when you want to secure a job, it's not just a matter of going into the interview then just, you get a job. You have to understand the environment of the company, what does the company expect, the needs, the goals.
That's true. That is why even for internship nowadays, for big companies, for oil and gas company, for example, Petronas, for Astro, for what do you call another one, Schlumberger, for example, they pay a good incentive. For example, allowance, for example, 1,000, 1,500, and so on. But they really screen you. Even for internship, you have to sit for certain tests, personality tests, and then some other problem-solving tests to see whether you are able to contribute to their company or not during that period of time. And normally they take interns to do some project management. So that's why they need to assess you in terms of personality, your readiness to work with them, whether your personality match with the position that they are offering, and so on. So if, they may pay you 1,500, but remember, you have to somehow be able to deliver what they are expected of you. So that's why you should not take internship for granted or industrial training for granted.
Because some of them are like an all-out training, an all-out experience that you have to give as well, as well as take from the company.
Yeah, and there are so many internships or industrial trainings opportunities out there. Okay, in some of the kuliah, for example, I have students. We have students from the kuliah of language management, for example. They looked for internship opportunities not in Malaysia, but all over the world. So they know that they have to bear some costs, a lot of costs, lodging, food, transportation, and all, because they have to go abroad. But they know that the kuliah or university won't give them any stipend or any allowances for that. But they know that beforehand. So, but then they have that initiative to go and find placement which may offer some allowances, accommodation, and so on. And then you have that arrays, myriads of choices for you to choose from. Okay, so some of them may have done they have done the internship industry in Japan, in Korea. Where do you want to go? Find them. Challenge yourself. Don't somehow limit yourself to Malaysia. Go to the regional kind of internship or industrial training. For example, Talent Corp have had they call it ASEAN internship. ASEAN internship. ASEAN internship is meant for Malaysian, Singaporean, Indonesian, and so on. Those who are in the ASEAN countries. If you are Malaysian, you'll be sent in other countries, Vietnam or Singapore, or Indonesia. And if you are from Indonesia, you come here and to go to other countries. So you'll be learning a lot of things, right? Cross-cultural. Cross-cultural, interactions or dynamics. So that would be very, very much interesting. Something that you would remember.
Yes.
And something that will help grow.
Yes. So you really challenge yourself. Don't be so complacent with what you have here. Alright? I just want to go to a place where there is LRT. Oh my God.
Understandable.
You understand or not? The predicament here.
Yeah, we see.
And it's because of that reasons that you limit yourself from, having something that is much bigger that can help you to grow.
You lose the chance of, impressing, a company which is really, good company. You lose that chance if you limit yourself to 20-kilometer radius from your campus. Right.
So go out there.
This is new perspective for students. So this is something that I would like to challenge students. Fly away.
To fly higher.
Alright.
Fly away.
So, unfortunately, that marks the end of our slot for tonight. It was really insightful. I want more, really. Because it is something I never really actually been exposed to. Actually, I never really made this.
There wasn't any official orientation about office industrial links.
All we know is that there's internship in our course out. in our course
Outline.
No, on the study plan.
Study plan.
Internship is
One of the
course.
Yeah, but now we see more importance in it. I believe the listeners also see.
Now, do you feel more motivated to go and challenge yourself?
Yes.
Yeah,
Very much.
Go abroad?
Considering.
It suddenly comes out in mind already. Okay, abroad. Alright, so this concludes our slot. We have covered a lot about industrial training. Apparently,
we hope that the listeners would benefit from that.
Yeah, we define what is industrial training.
Job scope.
Yeah, the job scope of the office, which I believe exists in any other universities as well.
Yes.
So, and then we come to the benefits of industrial training,
Right.
which is
A lot.
a lot. Yeah, and we got exposed with the new intern system and also the prospect of interning abroad. That's something that I don't think a lot of nations know actually. So only can be found. So thank you so much, Dr. Norbaiduri, for this opportunity.
Thank you very much for having me today.
Yes, so honored.
And thank you to the listeners for listening to us throughout this semester.
Thank you very much.
So if all goes well, we might see each other again. Inshallah next semester. So thank you and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam Jumaat.
Salam Jumaat. Ya, jangan cuba baca Al-Kafi. Alright, thank you everyone. See you.